All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2. Again, just getting our feet wet today, and I hope you enjoyed the last one, and we're just going to carry on from there. We're going to bullshit a little bit, answer a few questions, and I hope you enjoy it.
How were you able to teach yourself about nutrition?
So the first book I ever read on nutrition, again, because we're talking 20 years ago now, didn't really have the same content on the internet that we do today. Like, there was no YouTube, things like that. So the first book I ever read was just the GI diet, which when I went into the bookshop, I don't know what it was, I picked up that book, but still to this day, I've read a million other books, and that's the best foundation. I think everyone should read that book. It teaches you so much, sort of simplifies the diet, how carbohydrates work specifically, not just the GI index, but the GI load, which I think a lot of people forget about. You're not just eating a bowl of rice by itself, you're eating it with a meal. So how does it interact with proteins and fats and things like that? And second book I think I read around the same time was very old school. It was a little bit out of touch. It was Franco Columbo's, and that was purely just because the first book I'd ever read on bodybuilding was Arnold's Encyclopedia, and obviously Pump and Iron, watched that as a kid, and loved Franco Columbo. So I read a lot. I read his book, and that taught me a lot about like lactose intolerance and water manipulation and bodybuilding. But again, a lot of the data and things in there were from like the late 70s into like the mid 80s. So again, science hadn't really caught up at that point. But again, it gave me a good foundation. And then from there, it was just this is the beauty with bodybuilding, is the education. It never stops. There's always new information coming out. Not just that, you change as you physically, as you get older, as you add more muscle, as you age, things change. You notice that you react differently to certain foods, and yeah, it's quite a complex topic, but I think it's just overcomplicated way too much now. That's a problem these days, is there's too much information. I think it was easier for me back in the day. But yeah, for me, just reading the basics of diet through books and media is the best way.
How were you able to tell the difference between what's real and fake in the fitness industry?
Well, nowadays it's very hard. Going back to what I just said about the nutrition side of things, I think the biggest hurdle for not just young guys getting into bodybuilding, but just anyone, even like, you know, your average housewife that wants to lose weight, it's just an absolute minefield out there. Google, when it first came out, was so great, but now it's everyone's worst nightmare. YouTube, same thing, you know. Just this morning I was scrolling through a few videos, and there's one that says one thing, and the video next to it says the complete opposite. And so many studies that are done now are done, no one shows you who's done the study, like who's backing it. So like I saw one the other day about, smoking's not that bad for you. Well, who's behind it? It's obviously tobacco companies and things like that. So it's very hard. You've got to go through things with a fine tooth comb, and that's what I hate about the fitness industry right now. It's just way too much information. You don't know who to believe, who to trust. It's like politics. It's gone from one extreme to the other. There's no middle ground anymore. It's far left or far right, and if you have one opinion, it's one way or the other, and that's what I hate. So what I mean by that is, you've got, like, on this side you have your bro science, and on this side you have your science, like your real proven facts, and both sides have gone to the extreme. So on one side you've got like dickheads talking about trembolone sandwiches and stuff like that, talking about PEDs use, when they have no right to talk about stuff like that. Most of them aren't competitors. They're just young kids that are taking way too much gear. And on the other side, you have people talking about science so literal. And what I mean by that is just going into so much unnecessary detail. You know, you've got these nerdy bodybuilders now talking about, training, and if you don't do the exercise like perfect, then it's wrong. It is not true. You know, as long as you haven't got really sloppy form, I get it. It's just one example. And then you have like the whole, I get asked daily, do I take my BCAAs before I train, after I train, or during training? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Just drink your BCAAs. Same thing, like, shall I load on creatine? Shall I just take your creatine every day, bro? You're going to be fine. Just do the basics. That's the most important part. But I can understand why it's gone that way. I really can, because it's like clickbait, isn't it? I might only get a few views on this video, but at least it's honest. I think a lot of people now just say things for the sake of saying it, or they want to make themselves sound important, so they overcomplicate the shit out of things that just don't need to be done. And yeah, everyone's looking for a quick fix as well, which doesn't help matters, because no one wants to hear the boring stuff. No one wants to hear, if you ask absolutely anybody in any realm of life, whether, never mind bodybuilding or the fitness world, it could be business, it could be sport, it could be absolutely anything, any hobby you have, any type of interest. If you asked the people that are the best at that field, they would probably all turn around and give you the same advice. Just be consistency. It's not about motivation. It's not about how hard you can go. It's purely just be consistent. I think it's easy to succeed these days because people don't even show up. There's no consistency anywhere. Even just general life, when trying to find employees. I'm sure businesses struggle with that even these days. And it's exactly the same in the fitness world. So yeah, there's two extremes, bro science on one extreme, and then you've got like the science nerds on the other. And in between, you've got to try and pick out like who you can. And it all comes back to everything. It's common sense at the end of the day. I know all my clients and friends, they hear me harping on about it. You probably see my rants on Instagram and things like that. But it's true. It's like, I don't know where the world's gone wrong in the last like 10, 20 years. It just seems to be getting worse and worse. There's no common sense anymore. If you take a common sense approach to anything, you'll soon see the true people from the clowns, and vice versa. The only way to really see who's legit is goes back to what I said, who's consistent, who's showing up day in, day out, year after year after year after year. And you see less and less of that now. It's all just about like how can I get rich fast? How can I, everyone wants to take a shortcut. No one wants to hear the real answers. And I truly believe that every single person out there that I've met in person, and even people, the celebrities or whoever it may be, people I've never met, everyone that's successful, they're all consistent. They're not doing anything special. They just take slightly more risks. They're scared to get out. They're not scared to get out of their comfort zone, and that's really what it all comes down to. It really does. Fitness world's no different than anything else.
Who would you recommend to watch in the fitness industry besides your videos?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Goes after what we just said. Let me have a little think. My favorite one is I'll break it down into nutrition and and fitness, but they all kind of overlap. So you've got Dr. Mike from Muscle Renaissance. I love that guy. He's been around a while as well, since like 2011 or 12. Again, bodybuilder himself, very intelligent guy. And everything's just common sense approach. And he breaks things down, explains them well. I really like his stuff. Another one is Ryan Hummerston. He's great. He's, if I could replicate someone, it would be him. He's jacked. He's funny. He has a better beard than me, and again, he makes things fun. Again, everything's kind of he's science based. They're all science based, but they don't confuse you with the stuff you don't need to know. They'll drop a few nuggets in there that are like studies, and Ryan's big on like the stim pads and all that. So he's great. And then when it comes to nutrition, the best one by far is Dr. James Dinnick. I know his last name is not Dinnick, but I cannot pronounce his last name. It's way too big. It sounds like Italian or something. And with my Manx British accent, there's no way I'm getting it right. But I post his stuff daily on Instagram. If you follow me on there, you'll see me sharing it. He's done some amazing books on the biggest one is the Salt Fix. And he's, again, himself, he works out a lot, and he explains things really simple. He's such an intelligent guy, but he breaks things down into layman terms. And the other guy is the OG, James Smith. I'm a bodybuilder, and he's always talking shit about bodybuilders and stuff like that, but I love it because I completely agree with him. He's open and honest as well. He's talked about how he's done steroids before and things like that, and he's a personal trainer. His background's personal training, like mine. So a lot of his clients are just like mine. I have housewives, I have just normal guys. He works with everyone, and I like his approach. Again, all these guys, it's a common sense approach, and they're all funny guys. They add a little bit of humor into it. So I would definitely give each of those guys a follow on like Instagram, and some of them have YouTube channels too. Yeah, they're a great watch. You can learn more from watching them guys than spending a year Googling stuff. Yeah, without a doubt.
What makes you different from other online coaches?
I think my story is pretty similar to a lot of people's out there. When I got into bodybuilding, I was very young, naive, stupid. I was a bit of a dickhead in my 20s, to be honest. And so I've done a lot of things that were reckless and dumb, like I just talked about on the bro science side of things. But through the years, obviously, just naturally kind of matured, moving to this country and starting over again. A husband and father now, with a completely different outlook on life. So I can see both sides of the stories. I think I'm able to relate to young men that are really getting into it and have a passion for it and an excitement for it. But might be a little reckless. I think I can guide them in the right direction. And then on the other side of things, being a family man, having a full-time job, being busy, I'm able to help people figure out how to get fitness and diet and things like that when you have into the real world. I think there's a lot of guys out there at the moment that are like young, single, no responsibilities. A lot of them still live at home with their parents and things like that. And it goes back to before. You're not going to take advice from someone that's broke, and you're not going to take life advice from someone that's like 21. And it's the same way. I feel like I've built up a very good reputation as an in-person personal trainer, and I want to take that to the next level. But at the same time, I want it to be quality over quantity, just like with my clients at South Point. I'm one-to-one, and my clients, I think the shortest period I've had a client is maybe 3 to 6 months. All my clients I have at the moment have been with me for years, and I feel like I want to bring that into the online world, build a relationship with people, and really help them with trying to get over these hurdles and everything we've just talked about, this minefield that is the fitness world or the diet world, and just be open and honest with them. I love all the people I meet in South Florida, the people I meet at Retro, LA Fitness, and the different gyms that I'm at. They always get like a straight answer from me. I'll always cut the bullshit and get straight to the facts. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm a yes guy. I'm a nice guy. I don't like to hurt people's feelings. But when it comes to this, I'm so passionate about it that when I hear nonsense, I have to step in. I have to correct people, and it's not because I'm a know-it-all. I'm not trying to be a big guy. It's literally just I went through that journey myself, where the only person I was able to ask. So yeah, going up to the bigger guys in the gym. These names will mean nothing to anybody else in the world, but guys like Scott Bird and Stewie Corrin, where I'm from, in the Isle of Man, they were those big guys that I approached, and they took me under their wing and they taught me everything they knew. There was no money involved. It was just pure love, and I feel like that's kind of gone these days. Everyone's trying to make a buck quick, and with my online coaching, that's not what I'm in it for. I have a wife and kids. Do well for myself. This isn't a monetary thing. I just really want to reach out to people that are struggling and don't feel like they can trust anyone. I want to be that the guy in the gym that you can go up to, you can ask questions, and they're just going to give you the honest answer. And they're not going to overcomplicate things, because I do know a bunch of guys at the moment, and they have a good heart, but they also care too much about what people think about them, I think, and kind of put up a bit of a fake facade and go down the route of exactly what I was saying before, like just overcomplicating the shit out of things that just don't need to be that complicated. Really don't. I'm not trying to create Mr. Olympias. I'm trying to create people that have a better, healthier lifestyle, improve their self-esteem, things like that. And there's too much of it out there at the moment that's just wishy-washy. Like I said, you've got the one extreme, like your fucking Weight Watchers, and then you have your other extreme, which is like your keto and your fucking veganism and all this bullshit. And people have just lost that you can have a very happy, fulfilled, normal life while still eating normalish foods and things like that. And same with the gym. You don't have to go into the gym and be Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler. You can go in, lift weights, get a pump, have a really good time. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you're 21 and you're wanting to get a great pump, pick up chicks at the beach, whatever, great. You can do that. You can have fun with it. And if you're in your 30s or 40s or whatever age you're at, you can. I have clients in their 60s and they came to me with like dodgy shoulders and couldn't even stand up out of the chair, and now they're like, lifting. I swear to God, one of them is literally leg pressing the same amount as me in the gym. He's a unit, and he's like 60, 63, 64, I think. Literally just in a 2-year period, and nothing's changed for him other than he's so much happier, self-esteem. His job is a lot more easier because he's more physically fit now. Long answer because it's such a complex answer, but what makes me different is I'm just a normal guy that's been through the same fitness journey in a way. Before there was Instagram, before there was YouTube, and I just had to figure all the shit out by myself, trial and error. So I know what works and what doesn't, and I know if you come to me with like a science paper and be like, oh, well, it says this on this, I don't give a fuck what it says. Again, if you're a Mr. Olympia athlete, then these tiny little details that people are talking about might make a difference. But if you're just a average Joe, they're really not. Drink your BCAAs, drink your creatine, do all the basics, and yeah. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and if you like this, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and the like button, and yeah, tune in next time for some more questions and answers.